Marvin, son of a source.
What's up, man?
Yeah, so what have you thought about just the overall development of your players? Kind of, you've worked with them for some of them for some years now, and you're coming into camp with some guys that you've been with a long time. How does that feel? What do they look like? What are you thinking about their performance?
Well, I mean, I think we have more potential players and more potential playmakers in the group overall than any time before. I think we have good depth. I think right now in my head, good is the enemy of great, and I'm always going to say it, and I'm always going to push that we get more and more guys. But, I think we have 8 guys right now, no doubt, and we got other guys that are progressing quickly to get in a position where we're going to be good no matter what. We're going to have good depth, good players on the field at all times. There's never going to be that time where you panic. But I want guys to be their best, and I don't want guys to have a bunch of good. I want to start getting some greatness out of these guys. So continue to hone in on the technique. That's what's lacking just a little bit. Is we got playmakers, guys that are going to make plays, will be in good position. But if the technique isn't 100% on point, it makes us inconsistent. And that's the last thing I want. I don't want one big play to make up for 3 bad plays. So we've still got to hone in on some technique and get that to be second nature. Right now, they're working towards it. We're doing good stuff. But some of their nature is still a little bit, sloppy's not the word, but a little bit loose. If we can tighten that up and streamline that, we're going to be really good.
Is anyone especially technically proficient on a consistent basis?
Yeah, I've been extremely impressed with, 2 people have been doing a heck of a job. And, you can always hang your hat to Mike Matus, but, Anthony Cooper has been very consistent. He's been somebody that has really upped his game steadily since I've been here. And then Joe Moore has really, really taken a step in the right direction. And I think I'm going to throw Omar in there too, because Omar has made a nice improvement. And then there's a couple times where he can get a little bit loose, but that's the kind of player he is. He's an athlete. It doesn't take much for the athletes to go. It doesn't take much for a Ferrari to go over the speed limit. You know what I mean? So you got to be smart with it. He's a great athlete. Sometimes he can do that, but he's worked so hard and really done a good job since spring. I think now he's earned the right to say we can count on him.
Hi, Robert Hood, Rubino Devils Digest. When you look at the, I guess I would say the depth of talent that you have right now, it's almost seems like you have to be like a mad scientist, really, just to try to fit all the pieces together, maybe throw some wrinkles at your opponents. I mean, do you feel since you got over here that this is probably the first year that maybe you have the luxury to be a little over creative? I mean, still not getting away from your basics, like you said, but maybe really just throw some wrinkles and try some stuff that maybe the personnel or lack thereof in the first couple of years didn't allow you.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt to have options, you know what I mean? And I tell you what, we do have more potential guys that can rush from different. It really is in the rush game. But you're right. I mean, styles make fights, and there'll be certain games that we have enough power to anchor inside, we can get big. And there's be some games where quickness is going to be the name of the game, and we got guys who are quick. And so we have options. We can exploit matchups. I would agree that more than ever we have those options. And when you say mad scientist, it's not just, I got some stuff, right? But, Marvin is in the room, and Donnie, if you start talking about blitzes and stuff like that, Donnie's got more than we even want to talk about. We haven't even gotten into that. And so we got a lot of mad scientists in the room, and it gives you options. Not to mention the versatility of guys like Merlin and all those guys that can get up and contribute. So, yeah, you're right. It's good to have options, and you can keep things fresh and keep things moving.
And when you have this incredible depth, you think it would be for a true freshman like Blazin to come as late as he has into the process. I mean, it'd be hard for him just to stick out even a little. And I know it's only been barely a week of preseason practices, but maybe it's flashing a little more than a lot of us thought he would.
No doubt. And see, that's the thing, man. Blazin has more big plays than he has words that he's spoken in a meeting. Like, he is such a quiet kid, and there's no problems. He's making a play every day, and he does it with a great. And he missed a practice. He had a little back issue, missed a practice, came back, and the thing with Blazin is he's a great example of what we preach here. Quit trying to make plays. Just do your job. If you're a playmaker, you're going to make plays. And sure enough, he's just trying to do his job, and he looks up and the ball is there. So one of the players turned to me today and looked at me and said, I think we got another Tyler in our hands, because like I told you, Tyler could do every day the ball just landed in his hands. Right now, wherever he's at, there's a football near him. You know what I mean? And hopefully Blazin has that gift where he just does his job, and when he's in position, he makes plays. But couldn't find with Robbie Harrison, Blazin, all those kids that we've brought into this program, and I've been fortunate to recruit and bring in here, and Coach Iguano recruited, and all the guys that were involved, Stephen Beard with Robbie Harrison, and all those people, they're all high character. And they're the best kids to coach. And so Blazin falls into that mold, and it just goes to show we look for the skill set, we look for high character, and then we coach them up. And that's what you get from it. But the credit goes to Blazin and Robbie and those kids. But the depth, I think, again, after last year, shoot, you ain't gonna get me to say that we're deep. You ain't gonna get me to say it, because I know what happens, and it happened fast last year. We went from being 4 deep. I'm sitting pretty in my office to, oh my God, what are we gonna do? But that's why we coach them all. And so we're never gonna treat these guys like we have depth. I'm never gonna treat Blazin like he's anything but the first stringer. That's how it's always gonna be. I'm gonna push him hard. But I'm so fortunate that I have a group that responds to coaching, because they know I care about them. They know we care about them here with Herm, Marvin, Donnie, and myself. We got their back. And still, there's times out there where it gets tough. They got to trust us. But they know we love them, so we can coach them hard, and all those guys are high character. So I'll never, ever sit here and say Blazin don't got a shot. They all got a shot, because I'm going to coach. If they're on the field, they're the Sun Devil D-line, they better shine. So that's the way it rolls.
I was just going to ask about the addition of Jaleel, and kind of what led you to that and what you thought about him.
Yeah, I'm really happy with Jaleel. Jaleel's a guy who wants to do great, and he has high expectations, and he's really strong, and he does have good feet. Does have good feet. The technique is hard to learn, and he's just catching up to it right now. And that's it. In terms of also just the playbook. You gotta learn the playbook, and he's done everything in his power to do it right, and he's working in that direction. And I think once he gets it, it's going to be even better. So he's doing a good job right now. And I think that's just a testament to the guys that we have in the room, that he's not with the 1s and 2s right now, that we're not in a position. And when I recruited him, I do tell the guys this. Maybe it makes me a bad recruiter, but I tell them the truth is, listen, I need you to come here and be your best self. I don't need you to step and save the day. I just need you to learn what we do, be a part of the group, and be your best self. So progress is what I'm looking for, and that's what I'm getting. But his style was different at the level, and the speed's a little bit different. It's not too big for him. He's strong, and he's engaged. He's doing everything in his power to be better, and it'll come. By mid-season, I expect him to be up to par with the technique and everything. But Jaleel, I've been very pleased with him as a person, and I just want him to continue to understand that this is a moving deal, and it takes time to learn this stuff, and he'll do it.
When you have the depth that you've talked about, how do you see rep distribution in games, especially with some of your backup defensive ends who have kind of rounded out their games a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, I see it a lot. Like, you get the best basketball teams in college basketball. They can platoon it. They can go 5 in, 5 out. And what you do is in the middle innings, like in the middle quarters, we can rotate heavily every single series. I'm a series guy. I don't like to rotate it within series too much, except for packages. And so we keep it by series, and so we can get other guys on the field and have fresh legs when we get to the fourth quarter. And when you get to the fourth quarter, you play the hot hand. So if there's a guy that just has a great matchup on the outside's winning, well, you want him on the field in that fourth quarter because that's the hot hand. But typically you'll go back to your 1s and 2s, but when you get to the fourth quarter, you have that option to look over and say, well, let's go with the hot hand. Let this guy roll, or move this guy inside, or do whatever we want to do, those options we talked about. But heavy rotation by series, hopefully, to make sure that these guys all are at their best. It's a long season, and it's also a situation where I don't care who you're playing in this conference, expect it to be tight in the fourth quarter. And so we want our best guys out there. We want them fresh. But one thing that is discouraging for an offense when you play is, again, wave after wave after wave, just crashing into you. Eventually you're going to give. When you go up against the same person for 4 quarters, you can wear them out. But when there's fresh legs coming at you with the same intensity, focus, and technique, that wears you out. You feel like it's you against the world. And it goes both ways. So the best O-lines really can't rotate. but the best D-lines can. And that's what we're trying to create in our deal is a wave after wave where I can just say go. And that's the thing. I don't want to have a speed package. If I can have various speed packages, whoever's on the field, I got a fresh set of guys that you're the speed package and you come out, and then those guys might be the speed package the next time. And if we can create that, then we're really playing with some fire. And we don't have to depend on that particular person to be our speed guy. We got a whole room full of it. So that's what I'm trying to create as much as I can. And in crunch time, you put your best guys out there.
And then, Coach, how do you feel that, I mean, obviously it's getting a little more chippy out there between the O and D line, but from a D line standpoint, how do you feel in each 11-on-11 period that they've grown and improved?
You know, it's hard because you don't want to bend their stinger. And again, if you're asking somebody to be tough, and I'm not the man in the arena, and so there's an intensity to it. And so I don't want to take away that intensity. The thing that I need to make sure that we understand is composure. Because if I go out there and I'm getting chippy and talking, that's really accomplishing nothing. And I'm trying to get these guys to understand the difference between intensity and physicality and emotion. You want that emotion to drive into your physicality and your intensity. You do not want your emotions to take control of you and you just start talking. What does talking accomplish? I could tell you I'm going to whoop your tail, but I haven't whooped your tail, have I? I'm just talking about it. You're still fine. It don't mean nothing until I put my hands on you. And that's the thing. It's the only time in life where you can put your hands on somebody legally and do it that way. So the talk means nothing to me. I know guys have fun with it, and it is fun. And chippiness, that's going to happen. I want them to understand that you are accomplishing nothing right now, and that I want to direct that energy and focus into the work, into when that ball is snapped, how fast my hands come out, and I strike the man in front of me. So I compare it to, I'm from you got to learn, we used to fight with our hands. And if you get jumped by 10 people, you can't fight 10 people. So you got to accept that you're going to take a whooping right now. But what you do is you find that one guy and you whoop his tail. You let him know that of the 10, all you guys, somebody's going to lose. I'm going to take a chunk of you with me. And I want my guys to have that type of intensity. I'm getting jumped right now, but guess what? I'm taking a piece out of you. So the next time I line up, I'm going to hit somebody. But guess what? Oh, that's not the guy that fought with me or said anything. Well, tell your buddy to shut up because I'm whooping your tail. Because I'm getting jumped right now. That's how we have to talk, is with our production. And again, our production is based on our technique. So if you get pissed, get back on the line and play great football. And all the talk and all that stuff is wasted energy, and I don't have a lot of time for it. And it's all fun and games. Sometimes they say some funny stuff. I'm not going to lie. They say some funny stuff, and I go home and tell my wife, you won't believe what he said. And it's funny. But there's a fine line between chippiness and discipline, and I'd rather just stay disciplined and stay physical in what we do and just focus on the game. That's the most important thing. All the other stuff, hey man, go to the UFC if you want to do all that stuff. Go to WWF or WWE, right? If you want to be a talker. But if you want to be a player, just line up and do your job.
You've talked about Robbie Harrison, and we've seen his strength and how young he is. Can you talk about maybe his progression since the spring as far as technique and the finer points that you've been emphasizing to him? Yeah,
you know what I love about Robbie is, Robbie just doesn't have a bad day. And Robbie's just a joy to be around every single day. You got to watch out. That dude, we were doing a walkthrough drill right now. He almost caved my chest in. I mean, he really did. I corrected him, and I said, you got to come back to me. And that dude just stuck his hand out. Didn't do nothing. And the whole group is just like, this dude's too strong for his own good. So he's not allowed to have any puppies right now or any, gerbils or nothing like that. We ain't doing that. All right? So, if I had a baby, I wouldn't let him hold it for a while. We'll get it right. But what I love about Robbie is Robbie has steadily progressed. Robbie cares. The whole room loves the guy. And I keep trying to tell him when his feet catch up to his hands, he's going to be unstoppable. And right now, he has such great upper body strength. He's got no fear. He's afraid of nobody. And that kid goes in there, he'll punch anybody. And he can be slightly out of position, but because he's so strong, he can get back into position. The problem is right now his feet aren't quite quick enough to catch up to that upper body strength. So you can see at times he's high, he's behind. And when Robbie Harrison gets a little bit more maturity in his legs and gets a little bit more Z in the knee, can bend, and really it's pretty feet. That's why when you guys talk about skill set, when they bring me big nose tackles, 9 times out of 10, I'm like, I don't want them. Just because they can't move their feet when they go sideways. And the game now moves laterally. I don't care how strong you are. It's not 1975, and we don't have two gap nose tackles. It's not going forward. It's moving sideways. So they need to have the ballerina feet to move down the line. So that's what I'm always looking for. If you don't have those feet, then we can't do it. Robbie has those feet in him. He doesn't have them yet. And when he does, I think we're going to have a special player. And not just because he's going to have that upper body strength, because he's a high character dude and he's tough. And that right there is the home run. So when the feet catch up, he checks all the boxes.
He seems to accept the coaching and really absorb what you're telling him.
Oh, yeah, he does. And that's the thing, too, is sometimes some guys can be too hard on themselves. And Robbie sometimes can take it and really, really be hard on himself. And I need him to know that I understand. I tell guys all the time, we're playing chess, not checkers. And so I'm not about the moment. I see the big picture, and I know where this is going to go. And I know it takes time. And I know it takes a lot of hard work, where they say 10,000 perfect reps to be an expert. And it's like, dude, you're like on 105. So you just got to keep chipping away and keep fighting for perfect reps. And when you get there, you're going to feel it. You're going to have that confidence in you. You just got to keep chipping away. And I see it. It's there. You just got to keep working at it. He definitely takes it in. I just don't want everyone to be discouraged at all. The speed bumps you go through naturally when you're trying. It's like lifting weights. There's a lot of pain in your muscles until those muscles get big. One day you look up, you're like, damn, I got the little horseshoe back here, you know? And Robbie's had that horseshoe since he was in 7th grade or something, probably. But he's got to stay with it, continue having fun doing what he's doing. I couldn't ask for a better person. Those people, Blazin, Robbie, all those young guys, we should be excited about the future with those guys. That's it?
Thanks, guys.
All right, easy this time. All right. Good. Good. And that's the thing is we got to protect him because, you know, he wears that brace. Yeah. And it's so funny because he wants it off, and it is. It sucks. It's itchy and it slips and all that stuff. We keep it on to protect him. And so we got to protect him from himself. And there's times, Vez, God bless him, he's been really good. Hey, Coach, can I go back in? Hey, Coach, he looks tired. Like, now he's the tired police. Oh, he was, can I go back in? And it's like, no, dude. Let me tell you something, dude. I went through this whole script and made sure it's timed out perfect for you. You just stand right there. But I love that there's no attitude about it. He's like, yo, can I go in, Coach? Coach, he looks tired. Hey, Coach, I think he's down. I'll stay right there, dude.